Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. Today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at the full moon coming up. It is the full moon in Aries. Now, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across this reading, the message was meant to find you, so it does not have to be this Aries full moon. It could be any full moon that's coming up in the next while, depending on when you click on this video. Although if you are watching at the time of the posting, the full moon is in the next couple days, and we're asking Spirit for what sort of new energy is coming into existence here for you with this full moon. All right, so we have 3 options to choose from. I've pre-shuffled the oracle cards, have not looked at them, but as usual, I would ask that you lean in on your intuition to gauge whether the reading is for you or not, with something you will see, feel, or hear during that reading that can confirm to you indeed the message is meant for you, so that you can resonate and know without a doubt that that energy, that new energy is coming in for you. All right, so lean on your intuition to select from these 3 options. If you are called to multiple piles, that's absolutely fine. Could just be multiple aspects coming in regards to this energy that Spirit wants to communicate, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with being drawn to all 3 piles. All right, so use your intuition. Feel free to pause the video. I will let it run for a little while so that you can lean in on your intuition and select whichever one is calling to you. Option 1 is this clear quartz chunk, I guess, if you will. Option 2 is the malachite. And option number 3 is this rose quartz. All right, so I'll let it stay running for a bit, and then the timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, my beautiful pile 1. You picked the clear quartz. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to get into your full moon energy that is coming in for you guys. And the full moon, if you're watching at the time of the posting, is September 29th, or depending where you are in the world, it is in the next couple of days. If you're watching outside of when I post, this would be the energy coming in with the next full moon for you. Of course, only if you resonate with the message. Please lean in on your intuition for what you're going to see, feel, or hear throughout this reading that can confirm to you that this is your message, and this is the new energy coming in for you. Now, I was called to let you know that number 3 might be relevant for you guys, pile 3, because there might have been a little bit of crisscrossing with the cards here in some weird way. So if you resonate with this or not, you might want to go check number 3 if that's the case. All right, or all 3 piles, depending on whichever one. If you were drawn to 2 as well, then maybe this is a sign that all 3 piles. But either which way, let's take a look at what Spirit is wanting to communicate in regards to this energy with the full moon. So I have number 15, golden teacher, magic mushroom, introspection. Wow, okay. You guys got the magic mushroom. Very interesting. 15 is the devil in the tarot coming through. So we have these 2 oracle cards. I think this one might be, I thought this one was going to get me dinged on YouTube. So we have the racers running a race here, number 5 and number 2. And then we have someone looking like they're on their phone or something, sitting at a bar. Okay. We have forest. And ancestor of illusion. And we have purpose. You possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love. We have divine flow. Eventually, one sublime desire takes precedence over all others to follow the Tao, the divine flow at all costs. Look at that. Lotus flower, at least it looks like a lotus flower. Butterflies, bunch of leaves, and dragonflies. I see two of them. And dragonflies talk about seeing through illusions. Okay. Illusion. We have the storyteller, 17. Okay, or number 8. 8 is the strength card in the tarot. Leo might be significant here as a sign for you guys. We have 22 with tender embrace. See a little star here, which could signify Aquarius energy as well. And I never noticed this little heart on the elephant's eye. So we have tender embrace. More butterflies. Okay. We have education with 43, or the number 7. Education is an important part of your soul's development at this time. We have natural born leader. You are born to lead others. It is part of your life's path. Number 11. 11 is an ascended master's number, very divine. We have whale with great worry over nothing, and then rat, someone working against you behind your back. Okay. We'll pull some tarot as well in a bit. Let us move these over here so that we can have some room for the tarot. Let's pull tarot. Let's pull tarot here. I'm going to pull 4 cards for you so we can get a little bit more insight to your energy here. Okay. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile. Pick number 1. What is this new energy coming in with the full moon for pile 1 about? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1, spirits. Thank you so much. I am truly blessed. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy. Thank you so much. We'll ask Spirit to protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. Thank you so much. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. And we have the King of Pentacles. Okay. Well, there's parts of your message coming through very clearly. As we go through, more things might become clear. So let us break some of this down. So I think you might have been in your own head about getting something done here. And it could very well be around stepping forward in a situation, having the confidence here in kind of going all the way or following through on something here that I feel is very important to you, that you're being called to do, something that you're very passionate about. It could be a relationship for some of you guys. It could very well be a creative pursuit. It could very well be, you know, following some line of, yeah, like creation here with education, your life sort of purpose. So whatever this energy is that's pulling you towards it, I think you've been sitting on the fence for some time, and you might have built up a story or an understanding of why maybe you could not or have not yet been able to move forward. And you could very well be, I was going to say demonizing, but I don't know if it's that intensely, but that's how it's coming through. And sometimes my readings come through quite dramatic here so that I can pick up the energy, but demonizing maybe people or what could go wrong. So this obstacle of a person or this obstacle of a thing might turn into something actually worse than what they would actually be in this situation. So for example, I want to go to further my education, but my spouse may not allow this and then turn into someone who no longer wants to support me and then decide she's no longer going to want to be with me because I've decided I want to pursue my education so late in life. Something like this. This is definitely not your story, but you know, it could be if you're looking at pursuing a relationship, you could say this person is going to no longer want to be my friend because they're not interested in me and they might get creeped out by me stepping forward in some way, and then I've lost this person for good. It's something about some story you're telling yourself, or if I choose to commit to this situation, I do not have the finances to support this or the practical know-how, and then everything is going to get worse off than it was, or my life will fall apart because I no longer can afford to pay my bills, or I will lose my job, or I will, some sort of story you're telling yourself that I think you're using here as a reason to not pursue this thing that you know. But with the full moon energy, I feel like there's a new energy coming here of you being more open to exploring what this situation is about and allowing yourself to surrender to your understanding that this is the path you're supposed to be on. This is what spirit has been pulling you through, that what you have learned up until this point is enough to sustain your position in the present moment, to continuously give attention towards this thing. And you might have very well you might have very well either been, like I said, on the fence, or just distracting yourself with notions of something that was not going to work, or thinking that whatever would result of this might even end up with nothing. Like you would risk whatever you're risking in doing this, but then you would also not end up with that person or that degree or that thing that you wanted. So it's like a double risk in some way. But all of this stuff is nothing but a story. All of this stuff is something that you're subconsciously, and so Spirit is asking you to sit with yourself and really take a look from an objective viewpoint and remove anything here that is subjective or your own opinion or your own thought of what could happen or what may happen or whatever this is, okay? Because I feel as though you've spent a lot of time in the coulda, woulda, shouldas, or this is what may result, more so like talking yourself kind of out of whatever this is. And the real reason I think you still haven't tapped into, and I feel like the real reason you haven't, is because this might push you out of some sort of comfort zone. This might push you in an area of fear. This might make you have to feel like you have to compete in some way, maybe with another, or just maybe with a part of yourself that you are not so confident in, to step up, to be able to be clear and say, and claim it, and claim what it is that you want to do. Because once you claim it and say this is your purpose or your path, or you're going to do it, it's like you feel like if you fail, then it's like not ideal here, and you don't want to have failure, so you just don't bother to claim it, to try. So it's easier to say why you're not doing it or not trying. I also feel like you are building up this thing as well, which might psych you out some more. You might think that there is a bigger, I don't know, like I think you think there's a lot more unknowns in this situation, the thing that it is that you want to pursue or follow or commit to. I think you really built this up in a way that almost is the part of the fear, because you're telling yourself there are all these things, or that it's this bigger thing, and it really isn't. I think all that the divine is asking for is you to be clear in what you want and claim it, and then be in the moment and understand that you've experienced enough up until this point, either in your situation or up to this point in general as an ascended person, to step into this new path and be present in this adventure. And it isn't going to overtake you. It isn't something that all of a sudden puts your life in shambles. Now, I think what you might be learning here is a couple of lessons. One could certainly be allowing your fears to prevent you from doing things that you're passionately called towards. Fear of failure might be a thing where if you feel you don't know, you won't try, or if you don't have full control or know an outcome, you might shy away. This might be a confidence thing. It might be a thing that you are subconsciously doing here. You might feel as though outer circumstances and people have more control over you than what's actually true. So it prevents you from doing what you need to do. And that is also a lie, because anything external is only going to impact you if how you allow it to impact you. So yes, there could be external factors, but how you react to these factors is what makes your situation. And so you have a lot more control than you realize over your own emotions, over how you react. But control is just an illusion. So this could be a lesson here in relinquishing any sort of control, allowing the divine to take the wheel, because there's going to be parts of this where you won't need to take control, where maybe you are used to be, you know, the leader of your life, controlling your destiny, and maybe up until now you have had a clear path and a clear purpose, and now things might have changed. Maybe someone's come into your life diverting you in some way, or some sort of creative passion that's caught you, and now you're like, I had a path that was carved out for me, and I've already created this path, or I've already built this structure, or I've already committed to something. So in order for me to feel the way I do, pulled towards this person, place, thing that's come into my life in some way, I think maybe it's been in your life for some time, but it might have caught you off guard. And so you're in your mind about it, because to choose it would mean to maybe flip your world upside down in some way. Although I think you are building that up to be something that is bad, you know, so it's going to look however we perceive it. If you perceive something to look bad, it's going to look bad. But if you build something up, it also prevents you from being in the moment of it. And the big key here, what Spirit is saying, is take a deeper look, that the real reason maybe why you're not wanting to fully pull the trigger on this decision goes deeper than you thinking, you know, this might turn another piece of my world upside down, or I might have to relinquish some sort of something, whatever it is that you're risking. There's something beneath that you might not even be aware of, that is really driving you. So yes, there is a part here that you would have to kind of embrace the adventure. But I feel like being in the moment, allowing Spirit and the divine to take the wheel of control here, it's definitely your calling path to explore this. This is your thing, right? So the full moon brings a new energy here that I feel with the dragonflies we saw here. you seeing through an illusion, you looking at your subconscious motives, and you, once you shine light on this, it's like you now have transformed your energy into one that is embracing what you don't know, but still allowing yourself to explore this path, however it might unfold, which I don't think you see coming in some way. Yeah. And for a lot of you guys, you might be using a person as something that is holding you back, like a set of circumstances with someone. Like, this person won't be able to make it through without me, or I need to be here for this person, or this person's counting on me or depending on me, or something about a person being the holdup, but I don't feel that's the case. And you might be painting it in a way that because of the love you might feel for this person, or the commitment you have to a person in some way, be it romantic or not, just it could be a coworker, anyone here, that you're like, if I do this, then I've kind of abandoned what I was supposed to be doing in my role in society. But I think you need to understand that your dream, your passion, and you following in that is actually what's going to help the people around you, inspire them to see your energy elevate and vibrate at a higher energetic level, allows people around you to also do what their life purpose is and relinquish control to the divine to be the greatest version of themselves, however the road unfolds. Yeah, you could have been also just in your path here, like I said, going down your path of what you always felt was your calling, and it was comfortable up until now, and you really believed it to be the thing you were supposed to be doing. And you could have very much put your blinders on, or whatever you were doing here seemed real, and it was real for you, but Spirit's coming in with this new energy of you seeing through the illusion that whatever you were kind of grinding through is an old path of yours, is no longer your story, is no longer where you're supposed to be putting your energy. And now is the time. You've developed enough in whatever experience here to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And there you'll find more of yourself. There you'll find more answers to who you are as an individual and what you're supposed to be doing. I feel like you're writing a new chapter of your life that is different than what you've wrote up until now. And I feel like if you stay on this path, there's nothing really more here for you. I feel like maybe you have tasted some sort of boredom, complacency, maybe just, yeah, something inside you is just yearning to have a change or do something different. So this new moon is definitely wanting you to step up. And I'm also hearing from Spirit that whatever this is, you just have to be present, and that this energy, this new energy, carries half the weight. So whatever that means. So I don't know if this is a school you're supposed to be going to, and maybe you feel like there's some sort of risk you have to make, and everything is kind of on you to make happen. I feel like the school comes forward with some sort of offering that takes half this burden off of you. If this is another person and you feel like, okay, I have to risk all of this, it's like this person may meet you halfway through your risk in some way that alleviates. Yeah, I feel like it's not as risky And that's probably why we were seeing something really blown up in that risk. It's like you paint the picture of the worst thing that could possibly happen if you surrender, if you commit, if you release, if you go down this path, and it's not as bad. You don't have to risk as much as you're seeing it, right? Or the narrative you're building, and it's more of a cover-up of what's really going on. So Spirit's saying, okay, remove your reasoning. Like, say if that wasn't a reason and you didn't have that handicap, quote unquote, or that hang up, or that thing, that person or that situation, remove that. Would you honestly be stepping forward, or is there another part of you that needs to be looked at as to why you're not, or have not yet moved forward in some way? And it could just be this comfort zone thing. So also, I'm getting, once you move forward, instantly you feel almost like you're at home, and you feel as though you've made the right decision, and all of this buildup was kind of more painful, that you had great worry over nothing, that contemplating, indecision, worrying about the other person or the situation you need to tend to, or something like that becomes very apparent to you, that there is no problems there, that the worry was greater than what has happened. So yeah, it seems like you've been toying with this idea for quite some time, or this decision, I guess. And maybe for some of you guys, it isn't a really big life decision, although I feel it is. That's how it's coming through here. But for this full moon, I mean, it could be just something you haven't been deciding on because of whatever reasons you've been making, which might be illusions you could cut through. So you see through this. You see through your own sort of stories. You see through your own sort of reasons of indecision. Come this new full moon. Sorry if I said new moon. Full moon. And I feel like it is something you don't look back from. You absolutely have the support here. And see how this girl is offering the Knight of Cups a cup, and see how this Queen of Swords is offering the crown to this angel, and see how there's an offering of a pentacle here to the King of Pentacles. So there's an offering here, and this is what I was talking about, this halfway point. It's like this situation comes forward halfway with something that alleviates, so that the risk that you think you're taking is actually not a full risk. I do feel like the divine carries you through, yeah, as long as you allow the control, surrender the control here. But I also feel like the situation, which could be the divine, right, comes forward with either financial support or practical support, or support in a way that alleviates this decision, or this person allows, you know, this love, or this cup being a halfway point here between two people to meet halfway and agree on things that they can both agree on, right? Like the knight didn't have to get off his horse, although he did have to get on the horse and go to a certain point. It doesn't look like he's reached his destination fully, but you have this princess or this lady meeting him halfway. So I feel like there is definitely, once you step forward, there's surprises here from the universe that I don't think you're expecting either. And it's going to allow things to be much smoother than what you suspected here. And you might just be hesitant and held back here, but allow yourself to explore this. And I feel like there is a deep love that you are motivated by and driven by. It's a calling that you have here. So I think you've hesitated enough. You've gone within it long enough. You're ready to go on that path. All right. Pile number 1. I hope this resonated for you. Beautiful reading. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, my beautiful. Pile number 2. You picked the malachite stone. I love this stone. Reminds me of a turtle. Beautiful. So we might be concerned with maybe how slow we're going with something, or the amount of time that something might be taking around us. Who knows? Maybe time is slowing down during the full moon, or maybe it's speeding up. I don't know. The time might be significant. We'll see. So what we ask spirits, now I pre-shuffle the oracle cards. I have not looked at these at all. We'll reveal them together, but I asked spirits to share with you what is the new energy coming in with the full moon. So full moon is all about introspection, taking a look, maybe not making any real big decisions, but kind of being able to reflect back. But there's certainly a new energy that comes in with this full moon. And this could be whatever, you know, a few days before, a few days after the full moon in regards to energy. Now, if you are watching outside of the posting, this would be relevant to the next full moon that's coming up whenever you clicked on this video, although our next full moon will be September 29th, depending where you are around the world, of course. So see something here in the cards that you will feel, hear, that's going to confirm to you that this reading is for you, all right, because there's no way for me to confirm that, only you and your intuition. So let's reveal what this message is all about. We have 34 with bleeding tooth and stagnation. It's number 7. Okay. We have this oracle card. Looks like a farmer sowing his seeds. And, oh, stagnation. The turtle, like I was saying. Maybe we planted some seeds, something's going slow. We have a guy playing a guitar. We have 2 hands here. Could be a hand forcing another hand into the fire. Because that kind of looks like fire to me. Kind of a little abstract. It looks like someone's gripping someone's wrist and pulling them or forcing them in some way. Okay, we have the toad. We have spirit of love. Wow. I don't know if I should put this here or there. Maybe, sorry guys, I'll put that there and I'll put that there. So we have room for the tarot. We have priorities. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. Oh, love coming out again. We have acceptance. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. We have bearing fruit, number 12, or the number 3. Look how beautiful that card is. Absolutely beautiful. See a lot of stars here. Stars could be Aquarius energy. I also see butterflies. I only see 2. And butterflies are the transformation. But butterflies can also be freedom. Okay. We have great big love. Oh my goodness. 26. Or the number 8. And 8 is the strength card in the tarot. So I know my readings lately have been about love, and I know a lot of you guys come here for your love readings. I do feel like this might be a love reading here, so if you're not feeling called to a love reading, this might not be your reading, but I do feel this could be a romantic love, but whatever sort of applies to your situation here, because this is collective. Could be a love of a family member or a coworker, but I do feel there is love coming through quite strong here. Okay, so we have reconciliation. Number 32 or the number 5. This relationship, friendship, or partnership can be saved. Okay, so there's the clarity maybe we needed if we're not in a romantic love. Maybe it's a friendship or partnership. A soulmate. Interesting. I did not pick these cards. They just were shuffled. So we have soulmate with 76. This relationship is a match made in heaven. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's number 13 in the tarot when you reduce it, and 13 is the death card, and the death card is all about transformation and releasing what doesn't serve so we can make way for the new. Okay, this is coming through quite strong. I can't help but see these angel wings as well, which kind of looks like a butterfly, but giving me very much divine energy here. I'm picking up angelic energy. Okay. We have goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. Beautiful. And kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. Okay. I'm going to pull the tarot here, and we're going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for this next full moon for pile number 2, Spirit. Can we please get a clear and concise message in regards to what's this new energy coming in with the full moon for pile number 2 for the greatest and highest good of pile 2? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the King of Swords. And Spirit's wanting me to read all the cards in the upright. Thank you so much, pile number 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. And Spirit, please protect me in pile 2 as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. We have the 2 of Pentacles, and then we have the 2 of Swords. Wow, pile number 2. You pick pile 2. We got 2 2s here. We got 2 here. We got a 2 here. 2 2 2 and a 2 over here. Okay. Decisions, choices, options. So, I feel like at some point in time, you might have really had invested and committed potentially in a situation with someone, okay? Partnership. Take what's resonating here. If it's a family member, a friendship, a romantic person, whatever this is, I will read it as romantic because that's what I'm feeling here, although soulmates do not have to be romantic partners. But I feel like there is a connection here with someone that you enjoyed at some point in time. And I feel there is a deep sense of love here, but you might have been questioning maybe your own love of this person or this situation, because I feel like something's gone awry. And something has gone awry because it either was not moving forward or became something you did not want. So when we see someone behave in a way that we don't want, and we don't understand it, and it doesn't change, and it stays the same, and it causes pain, and maybe at some point we saw it as enjoyment, and then, I don't know, we invested and we just didn't see change, and then we tried and we tried, and I feel like there's an energy here of you understanding you cannot force change upon someone, or you cannot force someone to be different. You cannot force someone to get inspired or a fire or desire in their belly to do something. So I think you're learning here, or you have learned this lesson of love is wonderful and love is great, but love is not alone, does not sustain peace, and love alone does not create all the abundance that is required in a relationship, connection, or friendship in order for there to be something solid worth building upon. That love is definitely a beautiful thing, but it alone is not getting you to what you need or wanted or pictured. So we have the seeds here, and we have bearing fruit. I feel like you might have been waiting for fruit and things to grow from the seeds you've planted in a connection. And if that didn't work, I feel like maybe you tried to force an outcome in some way. I mean, you can't really force someone, but maybe through underhanded tactics, or maybe through things you said, or ways of shutting someone out, or doing something for someone to wake up, or I don't know. There's something here about whatever you were doing here was more of you feeling it's you know, coming from a place of love. I certainly feel as though you feel that, but at the end of the day, when we truly love unconditionally, when we truly come from a place of love, we allow things to just be. So I feel like this full moon is you having a great deal of acceptance for a situation that was taking a long time and wasn't resulting in what you wanted. So this person might have been unruly or uncooperative, but you might have been right in your head about your role. And I think with the full moon, it's like, what do you choose? Like, do you stay involved in a situation in which you can make a decision, but if someone else needs to also be game, or it also involves another person, you can't just stay in limbo, right? So you're kind of back and forth on this thing. And I think you're going back and forth in your mind. It's like, do I stay? Do I go? Do I get involved? Do I not? I've already invested, and where's this fruit? And so I feel like there is a lot of going back and forth and being in your head and trying to figure things out. But the energy that comes through here is when you learn to surrender, this situation and this person for who they are and how they've showed up, you allow the divine to bring in what needs to happen here. Because I feel like there is, well, we see big old reconciliation here. So I feel like there is a reconciliation here and a way to make things happen again, to move forward, but in a different way than maybe you might have wanted or were trying to force. Because, and if you say you weren't forcing, review your actions. Okay, and maybe this isn't your pile. If it's not your pile, then another pile could be yours. But by our own actions, we might be intending on having a certain outcome. By our own actions, we might be trying to initiate something in some way, right? Which in it by itself is us trying to massage a situation for some sort of outcome in a way that we picture it to be. But I feel like with the full moon comes an acceptance, comes an allowance for things to fall as they may, for people to be who they are. But I feel like this gives the situation space for there to be some fruit, for there to be a reconciliation of coming together with whatever transformations have happened. Because I feel like when your mindset shifts to this acceptance, it allows things to flow, and it allows there to be transformations within the situation, within this person, that might have not have been allowed to breathe or allowed to show itself in the set of situation that you had set up here. So I feel like this is a lot of growth, like we have here, spiritual growth. Okay, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I feel like this is all about us growing as individuals in learning to accept that other people are other people. They have their own set of energies that might not fall in our timeline, that might not fall within what our expectations are. And I feel like there is a way to have a cohesive partnership here with this person or this situation once you allow yourself to get out of your mind. Because I feel like the confusion I feel you might be getting is in some sort of truth, which sounds paradoxical, but that's the thing, is like, if you feel you believe to know a truth, which is a truth, then you get confused. And it's like, love is not on any logical plane. Love is love. If it were logical, then we could choose who we love and how we love and make, you know, wise decisions in our mind, but love has a mind of its own. It comes from a different place. It doesn't come from our mind space. It comes from our heart space. So yes, we can choose to act on our emotions. We can choose to understand our emotions and what's driving it. But I feel like here with the full moon, it's like there's an energy of you no longer allowing whatever set of truths you know to cause the confusion, because there's, when you come into an acceptance, it's like allowing yourself to release yourself to your heart energy, and that's where the divine takes over. That's where the divine then brings in, is this is all about, you know, the divine showing you that love in different ways that maybe you weren't expecting to see. And I do feel like if you were expecting to, maybe you weren't even expecting, but if you were feeling very deeply connected to the situation and this person, and knew that there was something more here, that I think Spirit is going to show you that you are correct here, and that there could be a reconciliation in coming together in order to try to bring to energies to work together. And look, this Ace of Pentacles has two hands. I never noticed that. Normally the Ace of Pentacles is one hand. There's two hands here and one pentacle. And one hand is coming from the clouds, which again is that confusion, coming out of the confusion, because clouds all about not seeing clearly or being kind of confused about something. And we, like I said, I feel like there's confusion in the truth. So it's like you logically understand something, so you're hanging on to it as truth, which it could very well be, but there's a need to step out of mind, because the mind is causing the confusion, and allow yourself to be open to receive, accept whatever is coming here, because I feel there is something coming here, and it may not be how you expected or anticipated. But once we receive it and work with it, there's a way to work together to take now whatever that seed is and to grow on it. Okay, to grow on the seeds, but it's different than how you might have expected it to come, or what you expected to see. And maybe you weren't seeing it as a seed in the past because it wasn't making sense to you. So it's like two people, one seed here to plant for future. And see, here's the cloud here with the sword of truth. That's the confusion. And it's like constantly being in the mind about something because you knew it to be true was really screwing around with you, you know. And yeah, I do feel like, and look, two pentacles and one pentacle. So it's like two people on two different pages trying to figure out how to come together here. And maybe you felt like you knew a truth, and maybe your person or the other person felt like they knew a truth. And so it couldn't really come together. And so when we feel like we're completely right about something, it doesn't allow there to be a middle ground, because as we know, the truth is somewhere in the middle, and it could be very, very much subjective. And when it comes to love, it's nothing to do with logic. So yeah, I feel like with this new moon, the big message here is there being an acceptance of something that maybe was difficult for you to accept at some point because of the perception of how now you're seeing something, and whatever was stagnant and whatever was moving slow and whatever wasn't showing up in a way that you had expected still may not be what you expected it to be, but it is something now you can work with, because it now comes forward in a way that you see differently, that you're able to work with, that you're able to make something out of it. And this is the fruit in which you're able then to build upon, because I feel like there's an open energy here from another person in the situation wanting to work together in some way. I am called to read the Toad. Let's see what the Toad is about here. Then we could have further messages that might stand out for you. I'm not sure if it's here. There it is. Okay, so we have the Toad. So it says, the amphibious toad begins its life in the water as a tadpole, then transforms to become a creature of land. This speaks deeply to the toad's connection to adaptability, regeneration, and of course, transformation. These blessings have made the toad a symbol of fertility, wealth coming out again, and fortune in many cultures. However, its uncanny ability to camouflage itself paired with the warty appearance has earned the toad a reputation for being a familiar spirit of witches and a keeper of secrets. Messages. It's time to play a game of hide and seek. Be a master of camouflage in your search for the truth. But don't stay in disguise for too long or you may lose your way. You've reached a crossroads that seems difficult, but you are capable of weathering the storm and choosing the right direction. Take a chance on something that may seem unlikely to you. Fortune will reveal herself to you. Beautiful. So, yeah, situation, it wasn't very pleasant. You might have thought it was going nowhere. It was stagnant. You were, again, the decisions, like we mentioned, the twos are all about the decisions. And you might have been going back and forth and not wanting to lose out or spend more time staying in the abyss. But I feel like you, with this new moon, you come to this sort of realization of acceptance to make the unlikely choice to still work with an energy that you thought might have been helpless or hopeless. And the fact that that camouflage and that truth, like, I feel like, yeah, staying in your mind about something that you felt was true is like, you could say, well, it's true, therefore I'll make this black and white decision. But it's like, I feel like being in that sort of mindset caused a lot of confusion because you're trying to put logic to love. You're trying to put logic to your situation, which conflicted with your heart feelings, with your heart space. And staying in that energy, I felt like, didn't allow things to progress, didn't allow things to move, didn't allow you to be open to receive a different sort of fruit and a different sort of way that you weren't expecting to see. And you might have not have seen it because I feel it has always been there. Because again, we can't force a big change on someone. So whatever this fruit was that this person or this situation was trying to give to you, and I feel is wealth. And wealth could mean many different things. Could be, ooh, I just got crazy beeping in my right ear. But wealth could be a lifetime partner. It could be making, you know, one small decision that opens the door to our whole future here. That could be wealth. So I feel like the wealth was there for your taking in some way, but you might have not have seen it. It could have been camouflaged in the situation so much that your shift in perception could now see the greatness that's being offered or the situation for what it is. And you might not think it's great. You might have not seen it as great, but I think under that layer is the love. Under that layer is the seed for it to be built upon. So if it's not great now, it's like you see it as something that you're able to build on that could be something wonderful and great and bring a lot of abundance and wealth at some point. Now, it is obviously intelligent for you not to live on only hopes, right? Because obviously if we don't see what we need to see, we sometimes have to make decision based on facts. But I feel like there's something here about the situation that this goes beyond facts and logic. I feel like there's a deep love and there's a need to shift our perception in a way that can see the love that is here, that might be in a different language than we're used to seeing or understanding. So where we felt stagnation, there might have not have been stagnation. There might have just have been some fear, right? Where we forced, or maybe where we were more assertive or aggressive. Maybe this made the situation delay. Maybe this made another person pull away. Maybe this made the situation get further from what was supposed to happen here. And maybe we were really stuck with how much time we invested and our expectation of what we expected to see. And when we didn't see, we couldn't see at all. You know, when we didn't see what we were expecting to see, we did not see at all. Meanwhile, there might have been something there, but because we didn't see what we wanted to see, we kind of dismissed it. But there is fruit. And the number 3 is all about cooperation, collaboration, coming together to build upon the seed. All right, so I do feel like there is, there's a beautiful energy here coming in. So there is reconciliation of this partnership, this friendship, this relationship that maybe you weren't expecting, or maybe you were considering, but you weren't quite sure because logically you were telling yourself something here. So if you feel as though this is calling to you to take some sort of action, then please take some action. If you feel like there is no action for you to take, then, and you intuitively know that this person is going to be in an energy here that is open to a reconciliation, then engage in a way that allows things to grow. I feel like it, and why we're getting this music card, like I feel like you can't really put so much logic into music. It's more of a feeling, you know, it's more of a feeling you get here that you have to kind of intuitively follow through with, rather than a logical know-how, because then we can't create the beautiful music that love brings when we are all solely in our logical mind. We cannot enjoy it, enjoy the love, you know, although music is based on some sort of logical, you know, music notes and bars and beats. The beauty of it all is that there's something here you cannot put into logic or words that comes through emotion and feeling. And that's more the bigger picture, because it doesn't matter if you follow all the logic, the bars, the notes, and the beats, if that makes sense, but the music sucks and it's not coming from feeling, then it's kind of defeats the purpose. It's kind of what I feel here is like there's this love, there's this emotional energy here that doesn't follow some sort of structure, some sort of thing that you might have been expecting to see. So there's an acceptance of this type of a love and what this could mean, and prioritizing that above the logic, and prioritizing that above whatever sort of disappointments you might have experienced in the past here in this situation. So it becomes more clear, you know, you're no longer toying with your thoughts. You're not touching those swords anymore of your logic. You're kind of now using your hands to untie the blindfold so you could see differently. I'm also getting High Priestess from this card, because the High Priestess is the number 2 in the major arcana, and I see the moon. The moon is subconscious, which is the High Priestess. That is also things we don't see, you know, things we're not seeing clearly. We might see something differently in our situation that isn't really a truth. And that's exactly what I'm getting from this card. It's, although I mean the Two of Swords is indecision and not deciding one way or another, being really stuck in our thoughts, having two conflicting sort of thoughts, you know, being maybe in some sort of cognitive dissonance. But I'm getting High Priestess, which is, what is the truth? You know, the intuition knows, but maybe the mind is conflicting and seeing something else. So we have to untie the blindfold we might have put on ourselves at some point in time, or we might have the blindfold, not be able to remove it, and have to guide ourselves through our feeling and our intuition despite fears, because we know something to be true and we feel it in our gut. So I feel like there's a knowing, there's a feeling, something that defies some sort of logic here, and it is involving trusting the situation to unfold as it is unfolding. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the most perfect, cohesive partnership, relationship, whatever, but it is going in whatever direction I think you were intending, but it's just, see, it's different than what you thought it would start off as, and you're accepting it in a different way, and your understanding of it becomes different, and your soul growth, your spiritual growth of yourself now has learned some lesson in seeing things differently than possibly you have in the past, you know. But there is something very significant about this person in your life with the soulmate card, and I do feel like you feel it intuitively, you know it. So we're getting past this sort of King of Swords mentality, which is more in the mind. We do have air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, which could be significant. I think we did mention Aquarius earlier with the stars I was seeing. Okay, so trust the divine plan, trust in yourself, because I think you have a lot more emotional know-how here that could lead you, but there's a need to prioritize here what matters. Is it this love and coming together here to build on something, or is it matter that it has to look in the way that you expected it to look? You know, it might look different now, but it may transform into something different. And the fact that we have the toad, which in the fairy tales, you know, the toad represents that prince, which is like, the toad is in a state that needs the transformation, which we read in the book, but it's like it could take the princess kissing the toad in order for the toad to then turn into a prince, right? Or there being some set of circumstances that's not allowing this toad to become a prince, and we don't understand it. And just because we don't understand it, our logic says, well, this prince is a toad, and that's the truth. So we see it as a toad, we treat it as a toad, and we set the circumstances as a toad. But if we understood that there was more to this toad, that with our acceptance and with our kind love and with whatever magical energies we inhibit when we release any sort of expectations and we surrender to divine universe, this toad may turn into a prince. Okay, so I don't want to build up your fantasy in a situation here. If you're with a situation here that you know is wrong and intuitively is just not for you, then please do not take this reading as this being a reading. This is for those of you guys who are very in tune with your intuition and understand here that maybe you've been seeing a situation in a way that you could take some sort of understanding from a way that you've been that has maybe blinded you to a reality of a situation that isn't as bad or doesn't look in the way that you had expected, but doesn't mean it's not what it is, which is this deep love here. Okay, so use your intuition. I don't want to perpetuate fantasies and people coming back here of the past that have caused you pain, or you staying in some sort of limerence with somebody here. Okay, this is someone here who has a deep sense of love as well and might have been stuck in some way and not allowing things to progress. So only you know your situation, beautiful people. My ear is still ringing, and yeah, that's could be significant. Right ear ringing, so tinnitus. Don't know if that's something you guys have been getting. It might be confirmation for some of you guys out there. I love you guys very, very much. I hope this resonated for you. I do see you guys very, very happy with this new moon. Again, keep in mind the new moon energy could fluctuate a few days past and present, or past and present, future from the moon, a couple days past the moon, full moon, and before the full moon. Take what resonates. I do see swallows here, or swifts, a bunch of swallows and swifts, birds, which are about freedom. And I was getting freedom from those butterflies we were seeing here, those two. So something sets your mind free. I think your mind's been in some sort of trap, thinking, going, contemplating, and that sucked. You know, that energy sucked. I feel you're free from this because of your acceptance of a situation, seeing it differently. It now allows things to be free, to be liberated, for things to move, for there to be an allowance. But mostly you get freed of your mind. You get freed of an understanding here. Okay, so I hope this helped you guys. And if you're called to another pile, go check that out. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3. You picked the rose quartz. Beautiful piece of rose quartz. Now, if you were called to number 1, I think 1 and 3 might be connected. I don't know. I haven't obviously done your reading yet, but I feel like the cards could have been crisscrossed at some point, or at least I was about to crisscross them for whatever reason. It was very interesting. So if you were called to 1, maybe if this doesn't resonate, that means 1 is your pile, or they both could resonate. I don't know, but I ask spirits to communicate to you an energy here that's going to come with this full moon. What sort of new energy comes with the full moon? So lean on your intuition, what you're going to see, feel, or hear during this reading that can confirm to you that this is your pile. All right, so let us take a look. So we have mice, discord among friends or family, and caskets. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Okay. Now I've not picked these cards. These were just pre-shuffled. Whatever came out, came out. So we'll see. We have restore here with the morel mushroom, number 12, or the number 3. Restore. Okay. We have this sheep shepherd looking person in this abstract card. So a bunch of sheep kind of coming out of the fenced area with this shepherd. We have this bird, looks like a goose of sorts. A bird in flight, okay. We have snake. Snake is all about wisdom and healing. And looks like this snake is protecting an egg here. Eggs are all about rebirth or restore. Maybe something that's been over. Birth, interesting, because we're talking about the egg. So we have the shaman of birth. Okay. I love when spirit confirms. We have spontaneity. You move beyond the constraints of the mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. Birth, new situations. Interesting. Number 2, pile 2 is all about being in mind and embracing new situations. So I don't know, it could be all 3 piles if you were drawn to 2. Maybe that's a sign for some of you guys. We have love. Oh my goodness, this is sounding a lot like pile 2, you guys, not like 1. Divine source is the idea. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation. Only love itself. Wow, and look at all these hummingbirds. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hummingbirds. Okay. Love. We have spirit of gratitude with 43, or the number 7. Don't know if this is a lotus flower or what sort of flower it is. Could be a lotus flower. Looks like one. Lotus flowers grow in the mud, in the gunk. And this cup has ears on it, like human ears instead of handles. For pile 2, my ear was ringing. I don't want to reveal too much of pile 2, but I had severe ringing in my right ear. And actually, it's still a little bit remaining there, but we have the spirit of gratitude. Okay. 43 could be significant. Could be your age. 34 could also be significant. Sometimes numbers are crossed here. Number 3s in general, because we did get 3 here with the number 12 reduced. Here we have number 5, body and soul. There's that lotus flower again, and all these cards don't necessarily have that. With the lily pads, and look, we have a dragonfly. Dragonflies are all through seeing illusions, seeing situations for what they are. Body and soul. Now, I believe pile 1 had dragonflies as well, so could very well be pile 3 that you might be resonating with those 2 piles if you were drawn. And then here it looks almost like angelic wings of sorts, or some divine being with wings, but we'll see. We have hibernation with 66. Your soul needs time alone for meditation and rest. Hibernation. And we have 24 with authentic self-expression. Be true to who you really are, and your life will change in the most amazing ways. Or the number 6, which is the lovers. Lovers is about a choice. Could be a choice in love as well. So we have authentic self-expression. Okay. So we're going to pull some tarot, and I'm going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Can we please get a look at the new energy coming in with the full moon for pile 3? What could they be aware of for the greatest and highest good? Spirit, please protect me as I channel this message, and protect pile number 3 as I deliver the message to them. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. All right, let's see. We have the Page of Wands. We have the 9 of Swords, and I am called to read them all in the upright. Just looking at the time. So 9 of Swords. And we have the Empress. Wow. Taurus energy might be confirmation. And then we have the Dove, which is all about peace and freedom. And we have the King of Swords. That came out for pile 2. Okay. I feel your message here is coming through as well quite clearly. But we'll see as we read what more unfolds. But so far, what I feel here is you've had a situation that was kind of painful, and it could very well have hurt you in a very significant way. Beautiful pile number 3, and I'm sorry if you've experienced pain here. And I think it's painful for you to think about. I think it's caused a lot of mental strife, a lot of pain. And it could have very well been a while ago, but I mean, it doesn't matter how long ago it's happened. I feel like it's left you, you know, in a state that it impacted your life, how you engage, how you move forward. And I do feel it could be in the love realm, okay? With love here. And the Empress talking about this great divine love, this great feminine love, the freedom to be self and love again. So I feel like you have an opportunity here to allow yourself to explore love. I feel like there's an opportunity here for you to step out from whatever sort of limitations, boundaries you might have because of an experience, and allow yourself to explore again. And I think your mind might tell you you're not ready, and maybe there's something about your situation which I think has you telling you that you're not ready, or that you should wait for something. But I feel like with the new moon energy coming here is you're now able to understand that you are ready to embrace into a new situation here, and that you're coming out of whatever state you were in for quite some time. Hibernation, okay, and then here you have you move beyond the constraints of the mind. This is all mind cards here, and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. So if this isn't a romantic love, which I believe it could be, but for some of you guys not resonating with the romantic love piece, it could be you tried something that left you feeling like you failed or hurt you. And so when you think about it, or think about how it didn't work out, or think about where it left you mentally, or the results of what it was, it makes you second guess whether you want to engage in this. And this could be the same thing, trying it again, or it could just be a new opportunity of something similar. So another relationship, right? Or a job in the same sort of field, or trying to follow that creative thing that maybe you tried at one point, but it resulted in more pain. Whatever the thing is, because we can love our creative pursuits, we could love people, we can love our careers. There's something here that speaks to you in a very deep way that I feel is your authentic self-expression, but I feel like you've been robbing yourself of experiencing this because of a situation that left you feeling stuck in the mind and going over the pain many times over, right? And maybe there were many reasons why it didn't work. So there's a lot of things here, you know, a lot of things that you think about that resurfaces this pain, and it's prevented you from seeing clearly, really, because I mean, you are in your mind, but it's like it's coming out of a situation that's been quite clouded. And so it could keep you in the clouds in some way because you're in your mind about it. But I feel like with the Page of Wands being an opportunity to explore, also this is about communication, being given a chance to travel, to explore. I feel like this was a roadblock, okay? So you may have already been given this opportunity. Now with the full moon, you could very well hear from someone, something that allows there to be a chance for you to remove this roadblock. And I think that's the thing, is you're aware of a situation potentially, but maybe you're not aware of the fact that you'll get some form of communication or some opportunity here that you then have the choice to remove this roadblock. Okay, I'm seeing this as a roadblock, but this is really your mental thoughts here. And look at all the hieroglyphics, which have meaning to you, right? There's a meaning here behind it. But if you get lost staring at the hieroglyphic stones, you could make stories and you could attribute whatever sort of things to this, why this stone must remain here. And I'm sure these stories are true and valid, but you could be in your mind, or you could see beyond the stone of hieroglyphics and stand up and walk around it and still explore your passion, still explore the opportunity. Or you could stay there on your knee behind the rock and not explore the opportunity. So I feel like the opportunity here for you to allow yourself the freedom, allow yourself the peace to say, I don't need to stay in my mind. I don't need to suffer and replay events of the past here. And it could have very much have triggered your inner child, something from your childhood here that is why it's impacted you so deeply. But there's a need to free yourself from that thought, a need to free yourself from that experience that allows you the freedom to move forward from that experience. Because I feel there is a deep sense of love here that you're able to give and that you're also able to receive. I feel most importantly receive, because I feel like there's been a disconnect here from allowing yourself to receive. And with body and soul and authentic self-expression, this is something to your core. This is receiving something to your core. So the dragonfly is all about, you know, seeing illusions or seeing through an illusion. So we could have very well built up a real story around, or a story around something that really has happened, right? So something really has happened that has hurt us, like it's factual and it's something that we experience, which is real. Our experience is real, but the illusion here is whatever we were telling ourselves in our mind, that we are no longer able to experience or go down a path of that similar experience, or some illusion that we have developed after experiencing this that put roadblocks in front of us, that prevented us from our inner child. Pages are all about children exploring. Okay, so something with the inner child coming through again with this Empress and this page. It's like the inner child wants to explore authentically. The inner child is our authentic self. It is our expression. It is our body, our soul, right? It's detached from mind, whatever our inner child here is. It doesn't act on mind. It's able to go towards what it desires here in a way, because that is the true calling. That is the true authentic self-expression that needs to come out. Otherwise, we're limited and restricted. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation, only love itself. So whatever has happened could have been because of another person or a situation, but no person or situation could limit or restrict you from allowing yourself to receive what's rightfully yours, which is this beautiful divine source of love that will set you free. Okay, the salvation here, I feel, is saving you from your mind, saving you from an experience that had you trapped, that had you in hibernation, that wasn't allowing you to move forward. The lotus flowers growing out of that situation, it's like that shitty situation that we experience either as a child or just in our life that triggered something from within us that now we can blossom and grow from, you know. And so I think there's also a need to listen to what you're telling yourself with the ears here. It's like you're telling yourself some sort of untruth potentially, or a reason to hibernate, or a reason why the stone cannot be moved or why you cannot move forward. And you might have believed it to be true, but see how this lotus flower is kind of bursting out of the top of this cup. That's kind of like the crown. The purple here, the violet color is like crown chakra. So I feel like there's something coming out of the crown chakra. It's like a final understanding here, out of your mind and into more of your true authentic self. You're allowed to explore this understanding without judging yourself, without getting your mind involved, without feeling those pains in a way that's going to restrict you. So the full moon allows you to move beyond these constraints. And it is like a rebirth, because the healing you've been able to do during your hibernation, but I find the healing now happens in you allowing yourself to move beyond that, like come out of hibernation. You step around this sort of block, the constraints of your mind. That's where the healing happens. That's where you're able to not be so constrained. You're able now to gain wisdom from that exploration, if you will, and be reborn here, restore your faith in your own self and your own wisdom and your own ability to heal yourself from something here. And it liberates you. It's a sense of freedom. It allows you to love, to find your authentic self, what it is that you desire. You know, it opens the door here for you to allow yourself to be free. And I feel like there is, with the shepherd here and this sort of authentic self-expression, I feel like there's part of you that is able to guide you in a very sort of safe way. Because I don't feel like you're just wild and liberated and free and then aimless. I feel like there is something about now you being very guided, and I feel like you're guided by spirits, the spirit of gratitude as well. It's like you have a sense of gratitude for your own experience, because you're able to understand the wisdom, you understand beyond the trauma. You could see past pains, and you can heal yourself in a way that releases the attachment you might have had to the mental thought of it and the pain, to free yourself to turn this and transmute this into wisdom, so you can navigate forward, so you can be your own shepherd, your own guide, seeing past illusions. And it really is a rebirth here, okay? Discord among family or friends. So it could have very well been a situation where you trusted someone, you trusted this person or other people, but now it becomes you're your own shepherd. You no longer need to rely on another person to make you happy or to fulfill or roll out something. It's like you trust. Hang on one second, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that. I haven't had a phone call in a while on these readings. So when I get a phone call, it's usually reiterating or confirming what I was saying here. And what I was saying, I feel like there could have been a letdown of other people in a situation. Could have been, you know, someone you really trusted, a family, a friend. And it was difficult, you know, but I feel like this shepherd is really you, and you're understanding that you are able to create your own happiness and reality. And if you are not putting so much weight and attachments to someone else being in a certain way, it allows you to navigate in a way that keeps you protected in a way, but still allows you to move forward. Okay, so I feel like if there are people in your life that have caused you pain and suffering, I do feel like it's sort of no longer the pain and suffering that you experienced in the past. Like, yes, it's happened, but I feel like it's the end of you hanging on to energetically that experience in a way that restricts you, in a way that prevents you from moving forward in new situations or period moving forward in that sort of capacity. So there is an end here. You know, and it doesn't take away from what you've experienced, but I feel like what it does is it provides you with an understanding of wisdom that you now know how to shepherd yourself in a way that is more guided towards your true authentic self. You're no longer going to be limited, restricted because of an experience or because of an outside set of circumstances. So you're definitely able to restore yourself, okay? Recuperate, free yourself, guide yourself, and come out. And I feel like not only do you come out a little bit. I feel like you totally bloom here, okay? I feel like you totally bloom. You're totally liberated. You're totally free. And it is absolutely beautiful. And it's the greatest version here of, or the highest version of love. The Empress is the deepest love here. The Empress and the Queen of Cups. But the Empress encompasses all the queens. So she is Queen of Cups, which is a deep, deep, deep sense of love here. And I feel like you have a deep sense of love, but it also comes with the wisdom of the Empress, which is understanding boundaries, understanding all the other queens. The logical queen, which is the Queen of Swords, you know, how to lay boundaries, how to use your mind, how to be clear about things that make sense and that do not make sense, and be logical. And the Queen of Wands, which is very passionate and knows how to manifest and bring abundance to her, is a very abundant card here, okay? And the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Mother card. Queen of Pentacles is very practical, is self-sufficient, is not relying on anyone else to make something happen for her. She is very much the queen of making shit happen, okay? And very confident in her ability to do so. So I feel like there is a freedom in your own ability to rely on your own ability to love self and control self and navigate and shepherd yourself in a way that is more aligned with your authentic self without cutting you out of an experience. You're no longer contemplating. You're no longer held back. And with this full moon, I do feel as though the opportunity is put in front of you, but you still make that decision. You have to make that decision, which I feel you do. You make that decision to break free from anything here that was in your mind of a painful situation that had many layers to it and many horrible thoughts behind it, okay? But it was debilitating and left you in a funk here. So you've rested enough. You've reflected enough. I feel you've healed enough, you've learned enough from this, so you do not forget, but you certainly do not allow this to restrict you from moving forward in a wiser way. All right, beautiful pile number 3. I hope this resonated for you. I love you guys very, very much, and I'm absolutely sorry if you experienced a person that you trusted here as a family member or friend to betray you in some way. That is never right. And I do wish you guys a lot of blessing on your healing. If you are called to the other 2 piles, I don't see how they're all connected, but only you know in your situation. There could be multiple piles calling to you. In fact, I do feel a tie to 1 and 2 for you guys based on how the cards came out, but that is certainly up to you. If you haven't liked this video, please do so. That's the best way to support my channel, or to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.